thank you for joining the Entrepreneurship Masterclass event tonight. OxWIB was created to form a network of talented and ambitious women across the university. We aim to uplift and support our almost 3,000 members through the provision of skills workshops, an international mentorship program, and speakers events such as these sort of things.
I suggest people choose personal branding is because you get to live and breathe your authentic self, and you get to run a business or a life that is aligned with who you are. So personal brand. We like to think that we think things and we make them happen, but actually 95% of all decisions, not just buying decisions, are actually subconscious and they're emotional. So we actually feel things way before we think them. But another thing is that 90% of people will buy from people that they feel like they trust. So if you're using these two stats and you're thinking, well, 95% of things are feelings, subconscious feelings, and 90% of people will buy from people they feel like trust. Like, I need to be trustful. I need to work with people who can advocate for me and make more people trust me. I need to hit them in the heart. I need to make them feel. Personal brand can lead to more connections as well. So if you're consistently yourself, people will trust you and like you. And those who like you will use you, and then they'll tell you, or they'll tell their friends, family, colleagues, other business owners about you. So with personal branding, you kind of have to do these 4 things to make it work. But what you do is you have to understand your values, who you are as a person. You need to be of benefit to others. So you're basically being useful, helpful, informative, just because it's your passion to do that. You have to consistently show yourself, and then you have to deliver on your brand. So if your brand
Hi everyone, I'm Maria Rutilu, and so I'm talking about this middle section, moving from the startups to the scale up. And so I'm going to break it down into 3 sections: people, process, and tech. Is that culture actually starts shaping much earlier than you think. I liken culture to a virus just in its anatomy, because it's not always very clear what it is up front, but it's there and it's replicating very, very fast. So the culture starts much earlier. So as a founder, it's really important to think about the culture much earlier than most people do, which is even at the point where you're still validating the problem, like, what kind of organization do I want this to be? What are the values of the organization? And kind of put emphasis on that and then design backwards. On the process, this is a very important one because it kind of cuts through everything else. Repeatability and efficiency become very important. It's like, I need to get to 100x thinking. And that means it's one thing to do something once, it's another to think about how to make it happen 100 times. It's very important, especially in the ramp up stage, that you take a step back to build out what metrics you use to measure your performance as an organization, and doing that up front. And there's a technology link to this, but just making sure that that data is available and the metrics are right, that they measure the right things, because it's also easy to measure vanity metrics that tell you how good you're doing, but then you're not measuring what actually needs to be measured. Then finally, just thinking about technology and product. Many people think of their product in the initial stages, just, okay, I'm just validating the business idea. But as you now scale, you now need to think about building scalable products, building scalable code. And now you have to think about it. There's 1,000 things your customers are going to want you to do, but you have limited resources, time, people. How will you make the decision on what to prioritize? And does that align with your values as a company? Does that align with your culture? Does that align with what you're trying to build?
I'm Chief Executive of the Center for Entrepreneurs, and if you look us up, you will see that what we're about is making the United Kingdom the most entrepreneurial nation in the world. But when you are starting and scaling a businesses, you need to have so many skills, and you need to develop them, because none of us start with all of those skills. The great thing about entrepreneurship now, as opposed to when I graduated, is there's a huge amount of support available. People who want to start businesses. For co-founders, the best way is through attending events and through your network, because, I always say a co-founder is like a marriage. It's possibly the most important relationship you will have outside of a marriage. And you want to make sure you choose your co-founders the same way you might choose your life partner. So it's
this time in your life, you've never got opportunity to fail like you have now. And actually, the quicker you fail, the quicker you learn, and the quicker you'll diversify and sort it out. Get in there now, make the mistakes, and figure it out. And that's what I'd say. Just do it. Just do it. Do it.
Yeah, I think my motto, Annalise, you won't be surprised, is just do it. Right now, if you fail, you have nothing to lose. This is the time for female entrepreneurs, and post-COVID is the time for female entrepreneurs.